Okay, guys, a week to the day, almost to the same exact minute, we're going to recreate the route that former correctional director Vicky White took escapee and accused murderer Casey White as she left the Lauderdale County Detention Center. We're in the Lauderdale County Detention Center parking lot. Across the street you see other parts of the agency, but we're going to take the most proximate route that I believe she would have taken. Director White would have pulled onto Seminary Street. I tend to think that she would have avoided the courthouse because that could have possibly raised some suspicion. Now, we are going to go ahead and go. I'm going to show you the courthouse just so for basically logistical reasons and so it can help the people that aren't from the Shoals or from this area understand what would have happened. As I said, she would have left there. We left at 9:42 and a half. So let's take the route by the courthouse, but I believe she would have avoided the courthouse because driving by the courthouse potentially could have led to someone noticing something. So I'm going to show you the route by the courthouse, and also maybe it will help people understand how close the courthouse is to the county jail. And if I get busy later and don't forget to thank all you guys, I appreciate all the comments and the discussions we have. At this page, I like to interact and talk with you guys, and we can talk opinions, and we can talk theories, and we can talk different things. Whereas when we're reporting on Tennessee River Valley News, it's definitely facts-based. Never put opinion into those pieces, just pure fact. And that's a little different in this right here, and that's why I wanted to show you and talk to you guys along the way about what happened. As I said, I believe Correctional Director White, well, I guess we should say former Directional White, now would have not taken the route by the courthouse. I believe she would have taken a right onto Dr. Hicks Boulevard here. I believe that would have been the least noticeable way. I'm going to feel a little like a tour guide here for a moment, so you guys bear with me. Now, we're approximately 3 blocks from Lauderdale County Jail, or Detention Center. The courthouse is on our left. The inmate entrance is in the rear. So as you can see, it's a 3-minute drive, and we had a rather long wait at one of the traffic lights. So if she had decided to come this way, she would have pulled in to the courthouse and taken Casey White in, but as we know, that didn't happen. Now, if she had taken this way and went ahead and went by the courthouse as not to draw suspicion, she would have probably came here to Tennessee Street. And made a right on Tennessee. I'm also thinking she didn't go that route because of time. We know about how long it took her to get over to the area where she dropped the vehicle. And we're running this at almost the approximate same time that she did last Friday at this time. Of course, it wasn't raining, so maybe that will have a small effect into it. This whole ordeal played out in less than 10 minutes, give or take. I believe she would have came out of the jail, went to the first light, and hung a right, and been or excuse me, I should say the second ride, and been on this street as opposed to going in front of the jail and possibly raising suspicion as to why she passed by. Now, part of her plan, which is important, is that the jail didn't know she was coming, or excuse me, the courthouse didn't know she was coming, and the jail just thought she was going to a mental health appointment. So basically, she pulled the old, as I like to say, doesn't happen as much today with kids because parents have cell phones and check up on them. But years ago, teenagers would tell their mom, tell each other, hey, you tell your mom you're staying at my house. I'll tell my mom I'm staying at your house, and they won't know, and we can sneak out and do a few things. I believe that's what she kind of did. She made the fake orders for the mental health eval. That way the people at the jail thought she was going to the courthouse for the mental health evaluation appointment, or whatever it was called. That way the jail just thought she went there and that she was going to drop him off with the other deputies who left moments before with 2 transports, and he was taken care of. And then she was going on to a doctor's appointment. Well, that left them in a position of neither side being able to back check or fact check with each other, because one side of the equation was left out of the, or one side was left out of the equation, I guess we should say. So, we're now on Florence Boulevard, and this is definitely the route of travel she would have taken, because it's really the only way to get to where she left the cruiser. Now, it's also important to understand that that cruiser was an assigned cruiser to her, so she had that cruiser at home. So it is quite possible that she put a few provisions inside that cruiser, but it's most likely that she loaded up the 2007 Ford with provisions. However, she may have had a change of clothes in that cruiser for Casey White, because it might have drawn suspicion if he gets out of the cruiser in shackles and chains and proceeds to waddle to a 2007 Ford. So my guess is she brought a change of clothes, took the cuffs off of him, allowed him to get out of that jumpsuit and change into something a little more comfortable, or I guess you would say just street clothes, in the back of that cruiser, instead of getting out on Florence, Cox Creek Parkway. So, now, we've been on the road 8 minutes, I believe. And we took a little more extended route because I wanted you guys to see where the courthouse is. I believe she would have saved 2 traffic lights, and that puts us about in the time frame that Sheriff Singleton has given us, that 8-9 minute mark. Like I said, I feel a little bit like a tour guide here. But on your right, you can see a gas station. That is the most likely point where the cruiser was filmed passing at the 8.5 minute mark. Even with going by the extended route and 2 traffic signals in the rain, we're just about a minute behind their time. I'm just pretty sure that they did not go that route because they wouldn't want to go in front of the jail, or excuse me, in front of the courthouse. As you can see, this is not an overly overly traveled. It's not congested at this time of day on a Friday. It's just a good, smooth drive. all jokes aside, Florence, Alabama, which I was actually born here, believe it or not. I don't do many stories in North Alabama, but this was my hometown. I was born here. I was raised across the state line in Tennessee. Now, let's go ahead and point that out while we're getting close to our destination. Straight ahead of us is 4372. This is how there could be multiple routes of travel for them to escape. Straight ahead will take you to Killen, Alabama, and you can go on. There's a split down there that can take you into southern Tennessee, or you can go straight on out and hit I-65. They would have turned here on Cox Creek. Now, this road, you can access I-65. You can access 72, I believe it is. You can also access I-65, and further south you can hit I-22. We're going to be turning left into the Florence Square Shopping Center, where they already had the 2000 Ford SUV was pre-stashed here. I'm going to make a little loop in this parking lot just to kind of give you guys some ideas of this. She would have pulled in here, and locals, you'll understand, down in front of Bargain Hunt, former Bargain Hunt, La Hacienda, and CC's. See these poles? I came down here and looked earlier. There are 0 cameras in this area. At the more northern end of this plaza, there's a bank. It would have had cameras. So my thought process, she drove into here. She came down into this area. This area here is known for cars for sale. She already had the 2007 Ford stashed. She would have pulled in here, pulled the cruiser in, pulled somewhat close to the 2007, and they were gone. That simple, that fast. We ran it, even though me playing a little bit of a tour guide, in 13 minutes. We could have saved a couple minutes if we'd not went in front of the jail. So that, my friends, is how, when, and where former correctional director Vicky White took Casey White, who's an accused murderer and doing 75 years, out of the Lauderdale County Detention Facility, brought him here to the Florence Square. They changed into a getaway car, and now, a week later, they're still on the run. I hope you guys appreciated this video. Feel free to like and share, comment, and we'll talk about some things later this afternoon.